Eric July has released an update to the Isom campaign. Let's take a look at it, shall we?
What is up, everybody? I'm Eric July, founder and owner of RippaVerse Comics. You guys are incredible. This is our first update that we'll be doing in our content series, keeping you guys posted on what's to come, what's the status, and everything that's going to happen with this company going into the future. I first have to, of course, thank every single one of you guys. You've made this more successful than I ever could have imagined. You know what we've done. All of our goals have been sort of shattered, at least initially, what we anticipated with our first launch of Isom issue number 1. Y'all have destroyed all expectations, and I thank you all so much for the support, everybody that's covered it.
The look on his face is the close to the most joyous I've ever seen him. So, I mean, nearly $3 million will do that, I would imagine. Yeah.
All the content creatives that have given it a shout out, and of course everybody that voluntarily gave their money to this company. We thank you guys so much, and we can't wait for you all to get your hands on the book. So we had to get that out the way. Thank you guys so much. Moving on a little bit, I want to talk about the launch. The launch itself was a little rough, a little rocky, and I'll be the first one to say that. I want to apologize for everybody that had a kind of rough experience initially. This scaled up to a degree that we certainly weren't anticipating. There was some site crash issues. You guys had cart issues, password reset issues. All of those problems, I want to apologize for it, but I also want to give a big shout out to my team because we got a lot of those issues resolved relatively quickly. We are still dwindling down some of those tickets that are addressing some of the problems that they had with those orders. So please bear with us as we get through all of those. We'll get to a point to where we can kind of coast, but right now it's all hands on deck and we're running through a lot of those tickets. But at least we got those site issues and user experience issues resolved relatively quickly. My team worked very, very hard around the clock all night to make sure that we could fix this problem. And the problem did, or the big problems got resolved, and those other smaller ones, we are getting those resolved via ticket. So thank you guys for your patience, and big shout out to the RippaVerse website team. You guys knocked it out of the park.
Okay, I didn't have too much of a problem other than just the site being down initially myself. I think my initial order was in the 3,000s. So, but yeah, they've been very transparent about fixing that and getting on top of that, and so I think they handled it about as best they could, considering they weren't expecting what happened to happen, at least at the level that it happened.
As of me shooting this video, we are roughly at 2.56 million in terms of the revenue that has been brought in. We also have almost 29,000 purchasers. Amazing. That is incredible.
It's a lot.
Was not anticipating that. Here in a little bit, I'll kind of explain what exactly that means. But thank you guys for that. I mean, you're talking about a new company, a startup, to bring that much in is a testament to how thriving and thirsty rather this market is for this type of content. And we hear you guys loud and clear, certainly on that. You've legitimized everything it is that we've sought to do, and the expectations are there. We have, of course, those standards that we've talked about with our code of ethics and everything that you guys need to be holding us to, and we're going to live up to that, plus more, now that we have scaled up and you guys have just shown us that, look, this is what we want. I want to give an update about cover A and cover B because there were some changes that caused a bit of confusion, and I want to be clear on that now. So initially, we had ready for sale, definitely going into August, roughly 7,000 or so copies of cover A and about 3,000 of cover B. Well, we pivoted on that plan. We had a second stash that was set to arrive more closer to September that we were going to do some like special promo items with. We were going to do some other things with it, and that was going to take us into the end of the year. Well, that entirely changed considering what happened. The first thing was with the website. We had we had over 20,000 people that signed up with the notifications via email. We sent those out, and because the website was so rocky, I thought that it was very unfair for those that were trying to get in early that couldn't get their items, and because they were selling out like hotcakes. We didn't think that was fair, so we decided that second stash that we were going to do other things with. Well, we had to pivot on that, and we just need to sell every single one of those to make sure that you guys are able to get what it is that you will want. So the official cap on that is roughly 27,000 for cover A, and for cover B, it'll be around 17,000. We have already announced that on our public social media. So at that cap, okay, they're gone for good. Just keep in mind, we won't be doing any promo stuff. We'll keep some of it for overruns, for maybe some like future things that we're going to do, but like the other promo stuff that we plan to do, we can't really do those anymore. So 27,000 would cover A, 17,000 would cover B. You have to get those. Once that those caps get hit, we won't be selling them anymore. You can't get them anymore. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. They will be gone, but cover C will be available throughout the entire.
Get your orders in. That's what that means, ultimately.
Of the entire campaign, you'll be able to get that cover C. That is, which if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It is amazing. It looks very, very good, but that will be available through the entire course of the campaign. I also want to mention that the concept art book, which we only printed 2,000 or so of those, are gone.
I ordered one. Did you guys order one? I'll cover that in a future video.
Are gone. So you can't get those anymore, thanks to every single one of you that picked up one of those. You have that collector's item, and I can't wait for you to actually read it. Keep in mind that we took the transparency of a traditional crowdfund. You guys that use Indiegogo or you guys use Kickstarter, you can see that familiarity that is there. We wanted to take the transparency of that, so we took some of those ideas and implemented it in our own way. We didn't want to just obviously replicate that, because not directly at least, because we're not crowdfunding here. The project's already done. We're not getting funds or trying to raise funds to pay for the project. It's already done. Everything that we pay for now is product that we need to get, or items that will help us get this stuff out to you guys, because it's all done. So I want to be transparent about those numbers. There was some confusion about people adding up sort of the purchasers. You see almost 29,000 purchasers, and then you add up all those purchases and the different like perks, and they don't add up. It's like far more numbers in terms of the perks. Let me explain that. You see cover A, you see cover B, you see also all of those items, if you look at those, are included in different various bundles. So those numbers aren't necessarily separate. Let me explain. So let's say we sold, and you see at the top, the first thing that you can click on, that campaign item is cover A, and it'll have like 22,000 purchases, it'll say. Well, if that cover A is included, let's say in a bundle, that whatever is included in that bundle, if it's 2 books, 3 books, whatever it is, that goes to that total purchasers number in that cover A solo campaign item. So look at it like that. That is including, so when you see the single campaign item, that's including everything. Mm-hmm. So when you're adding up those numbers, we're not shortchanging ourselves. Some people were like, well, you've made over $3 million if you add it up like that. No. It's relatively accurate where we're at in terms of those numbers. You just have to kind of understand. So hopefully that explained. I know that was a little bit confusing. This is perhaps the most important part of this update, and that's the fulfillment process. So things have changed, and I want to be very transparent about that. We're not expecting to fly through that first batch. We weren't expecting y'all to be that enthusiastic. We kind of undershot there. And that's okay. That's a good problem to have, but it does change things a little bit. So fulfillment was planning to go into August. Of course, you know that. Now we're looking at more closer to end of August and September to begin, not necessarily begin fulfilling those orders, but make sure that they're all kind of done. Because now we have a window where we have to get all of these out. And of course, it'll still be first come, first serve. If you ordered first, your orders will be the first ones that, of course, are out. We're ramping up and scaling everything up right now to try to make sure that we have the capacity to handle that, to get as many items out the door, out of the warehouses, as quick as we possibly can. But I don't want to do it in like big shipments like we have this shipment and then the next one, and those are like a month between, kind of derails the fun. So we kind of got to move everything within the same window. And I was on the phone, had a great conversation earlier with our printers. We're tracking down paper, supply chain stuff. You guys that are in this industry, you already know what that is. Trying to intercept some stuff to make sure that we can get those as quick as we possibly can, and we'll be coming out with updates to nail down that specific date. But we are still looking at the latter half, going into the latter half of August and all those, and they still will be first come, first serve. So if you got in early on the pre-order campaign, because that's what it is, after all, it's a pre-order campaign, you still will get your items first. It's just that we have to try to line it up with those other orders so everybody's getting to them within a similar time frame. So you're still going to get your items. You're going to get them by September. You should be fine there. If anything changes, we will, of course, let you guys know. My printers are working very, very hard in order to track down this paper that we are going to need to make sure that second batch that we had planned to get is kind of moved up so we can make sure you guys get those items. So just keep that in mind with the fulfillment process. We'll keep you guys updated, but we're looking closer to the latter half of August and the going into September right now. So it doesn't push it back that much, but just wanted to be transparent about that. I want to...
That will be interesting to see how it plays out. But it's good that they're, communicating this, and if things change, I'm sure there'll be another video.
First talk about our stretch goals it is that we had. I remember some folks, again, looking at it like the crowdfund route, they see that and they were like, well, those are a little weird. Of course, I disagree. You have to understand what we're trying to do here. It wasn't a direct replication. I wanted to just kind of take some of those ideas and implement it in our own special way. So I want to give you guys an update on some of those. Obviously, I was not expecting to just absolutely destroy every single one that we had. So let's go through 4 of them and what it is that they actually mean. So at the 125,000 mark, we said, of course, we're putting the industry on notice. Now, what did that mean? We're looking at it like, look, if we make that money, people that are kind of oblivious about what's happening in the comic book industry, especially in America, that's that dollar amount that we try to quantify as best as we could. That says, okay, you cannot ignore what it is that's sort of taking place. And 150K is sort of a similar thing where we talk about, okay, this is for real. We're getting closer to 200,000. Operation recoup fees for you guys that watch my personal streams. I talk about that so often about how Operation Recoup Fees was in order, and yes, we had a 100,000 campaign goal, but I spent on the upward of 200,000 to make this happen, considering all of the money that I spent initially. Well, we've officially, of course, recouped those fees in the 300,000. We could justify, which is that 4th stretch goal, we could justify paying more for additional product. And more inventory has been purchased. Now, some of that applies to what we're going to be adding, the new campaign items that we're going to be adding to the merch store. I'm proud to announce that we have 2 additional items that we're going to be adding to the campaign, and you'll be able to grab those. One of those campaign items are no stretch goals. They were actually, hey, we're going to add more product. That inventory purchase was part of that. We already got the ball moving on that, so those can be ready by time of fulfillment. So expect that. New items. We heard you loud and clear what it was that you wanted. You'll be able to get those very shortly.
So
and
like
those
at
are
least
the updates.
a black T-shirt was one of those
the
things.
Other ones that takes us up to 300,000. We have the other ones that we need to get to. Stretch goals, and we'll be doing those in a future video because those really require their own kind of announcement. So bear with us on that. Again, we were just simply not expecting to be where it is that we are at. Look, guys, this business has scaled up probably 100-fold from what I initially had planned. Thank you. And I'm not looking at that like, well, I'm scared or I should be scared. And it's not intimidating to me. I love the obstacles. There's going to be growing pains. There's going to be things that I can learn of course, along the way. And I just look at it like it's another problem to solve. I have a great team here that surrounds me. We'll be announcing some of those stretch goals pertaining to that. And because of that, we're able to make real things happen relatively quickly as well. So I'm not worried about it. You shouldn't as customers as well. And I'm just so thankful to be in this position. I had not anticipated making $2.5 million even throughout the duration of the campaign, let alone doing it in the first week, guys. We got well over 65 days to go. This is insane. So thank you guys so much for the continued support there, and
welcome.
We'll see how far it goes. We have no external investors. I always have to continue to mention that because a lot of folks get it twisted, and because of that, everything that we make has to go it has to go back into, we have our bottom line and bills and stuff we got to pay, but it has to go back into making other things happen, product and what have you. So I'm excited about that sort of stuff, but I'm not like going to spend the money on a Lamborghini or anything. We have to reinvest it back into this company. So thank you guys so much for the support. I'm glad we could get this update to you guys, 1 week update, official 1 week update, and we hope you continue to support. We hope you love the upcoming merchandise items, and we will be updating you far more frequently going into the future. So again, thank you for making the RippaVerse successful in its first week, but we're just getting started. We have a lot of work to certainly do. Again, thank you guys so much.
I think that's, I didn't react to that as much as I thought I might, but I think it's important just to sort of keep pushing that information out there so as many people see it as possible, although his push is much stronger than mine. But hey, I'll do what I can over here for now. But yeah, I like how they're being transparent. Obviously, that will continue. If there's some major setbacks, it'll be interesting to see how that happens, though I don't, or how they respond to that. I'm not anticipating that actually, but this situation, I mean, even a problem can present an opportunity in terms of getting behind something, being transparent about it, and communicating that, and sort of reinforcing your own brand through that experience. It can, if handled correctly. So I get the impression that that's how it would go here if something did happen. So we'll see. But mostly I'm just hoping everything goes as smoothly as possible and we get our stuff soon, and I can make some videos about the actual product, and we can all talk about that and the story and the art, and maybe I should get those cards. I'm still thinking about it. Has anyone who's pulled the trigger on those cards? Somebody, right? Okay. Well, that's enough for this one. I understand if you didn't watch the video all the way to this point, but if you did, thank you. Have a great day. See you in the next video. Peace.